So, welcome. Today, I want to talk about international trade and political government intervention in international trade. So, there are actually two reasons. And first of all, I want to say I think if we look at the news and we can see that nowadays this topic is really interesting because I have the feeling a lot of governments are shifting to like a more kind of protectionism style of government or like a more national thinking, and that is why we see a lot of different governments doing or using politics to kind of like ban international or companies to enter the market or like to make it more difficult for them. So as I mentioned, there are two reasons why government or like two concepts or two reasons why government do interventions in international trade. One would be like a political reason and one an economic reason, and I want to focus on the political reasons. So first, political reason would be for a government is like the protection of jobs in the overall industry within their country. So so for example, we can take the example of India, and if, for example, the government would allow big corporations like Walmart flood in the country, they would definitely hurt the whole economy of the small people who sell their products on the streets day by day, because India is a large like black market economy, how to say. So there are many individual people who would have no they wouldn't be able to compete with for example Walmart. That's why it took so long, for example, also for Amazon to enter into the Indian market. They're now starting, they have big headquarters and everything like that, but they're still under big restrictions. They are required to sell Indian goods produced in India. So there's definitely a high standard of protection there. Um, the same, for example, or another key reason for government intervention would be national security. We can see that with the US, for example, banning Huawei from developing 5G networks, and we can also see that, for example, in India, where the Indian government is banning, I think it was 60 or 95, 59 apps from China, including TikTok, because they said they would be like a threat to the national security. However, on one hand, I think that can be true, but on the other hand, I think it's also another reason, and that would be political retaliation, because both countries, or for example, US, is in a trade war with China for a long time, and it's definitely one reason why they're trying to ban Huawei as one of China's biggest cell phone producer. And in India, it's the case because of the recent trouble on the border of Ladakh, where Chinese troops attacked Indian soldiers, and because, as I mentioned, India has a real strong nationalist view, or there's a lot of pet like how to say protectionism in the government's political system with the current government with Mr. Narendra Modi. So they spoke out this ban, and another reason, for example, in Germany, we can see Germany was in the past banned Chinese acquisitions of critical industries. So, for example, robotics or military companies were like banned for Chinese investors for acquisitions, because they would also have been a threat to national security. Yeah, what can we sum up? I believe nowadays governments are also under the pressure from like the overall population. They feel like too many global corporations are like damaging the local businesses. For example, Amazon is often under critique here, for example, also in Germany, because our local businesses can't compete with them. And I think on the one hand, it's true, like Amazon is a huge corporation, and it is definitely hard for like smaller shops to compete. But I also think that it should create some kind of competition, and if nobody is challenged to change, they won't change. Another good example I can take or I can tell from Germany is Uber, for example. Like Uber was banned or not allowed to enter the German market because our taxi lobby is so strong that they kind of like yeah, put the government under pressure and yeah, forbid or like banned Uber from yeah, entering the market, which is, I think it is really sad, because if you if you have been to Germany, you know, like it's so expensive to go by taxi or by cab, and that is only the reason because they have no competition. Like the taxi makers can do what they want, so prices are high, and yeah, people are forced to use the services. But if they would allow competition, for example with Uber, the taxi makers would have also been urged to change or to improve their businesses. So I think governments should be really careful in what they're banning and what not. It's definitely important to support and protect local people and local businesses, but I also think it's important to grow, and it can also be due to competition, because otherwise nobody else yeah, would feel the urge to improve their own business. And that is why I think yeah, political intervention is on the one hand important, but on the other hand, it needs to be like really clearly thought out and yeah, be managed well. Thank you very much.